Donald Trump put out a post on Truth Social where he said, Pam Bondi, it's time to arrest these Democrats. And it said Pam Bondi, and then whatever the message. I'll read the full thing. I don't have it memorized. But many people said, hey, whoa, wait a minute. Did Trump mean to DM Pam Bondi in order to go and arrest Democrats, but he accidentally published it? Oh, come on. Of course it was meant to be public. I don't even know if you have DMs on Truth Social, do you? Well, at any rate, the media is losing their mind. Why? Because they're Democrat aligned. With the Independent saying, imagine if Richard Nixon, quoting Hillary Clinton, who said, imagine if Richard Nixon had just tweeted out the Watergate scandal rather than putting it on his secret tapes. You actually think Trump made the mistake? No. This was a shot across the bow at Democrats. Trump was saying, my AG already knows to do this. This message is intended for you, that we are coming. And in this message, he's basically saying it's time to go and arrest these Democrats who broke the law and did untoward things. Now, on the right, everyone's saying, finally, we've been waiting for this forever. We know that these people were doing illegal things and trying to burn this country to the ground. So when's it going to happen? Where are the arrests? The funny thing is, last week, with the dramatic escalation in tensions in this country, not just the Charlie Kirk assassination, but the moves made by the Trump administration, I said at this pace, we're going to see arrests by next week. And then the attorneys indicted a former Oakland mayor. And I was like, whoa, that was over the weekend. I thought it was going to be next week. But sure enough, it seems to be happening now. And there's a big question. These libertarian types and these fake centrists are going, guys, please stop. Don't do it. What are you going to do when the Democrats take power? If the Democrats take power again, I don't know, break rocks. The presumption is if Democrats get in power again, what will I do? How will I respond? I'll respond by, probably trying to lift the chains on my legs up because it's chafing and breaking rocks that are just big enough, but not too big because I don't want to strain myself even when they're cracking the whip. I'm kidding. I don't actually think they'll make us break rocks, but come on. They arrested Trump's lawyers. They falsely accused Trump of fraud, of rape. They arrested his lawyers. Are you kidding me? If Trump doesn't do this, I'm scared what happens. Not if he does. Let's break it down. Go through the news and the reaction from the left and where this country is going. Before we do, we got a great sponsor for you, my friends. It is Beam Dream. Go to shopbeam.com/Timcast and pick up your delicious Beam Dream. It is hot cocoa. This Beam Dream, you got the cinnamon cocoa. You got brownie batter as well. I've been drinking the brownie batter one as well because I ran out of the cinnamon one's my favorite, by the way. It's got melatonin, magnesium, L-theanine. It helps you sleep at night. And I've been taking this. I drink this every night before bed. I heat up, put a little bit of cream on top. It is absolutely amazing. It tastes good, low calorie, no added sugar, only 15 calories, and it helps you sleep. And I got proof. No joke. This is my sleep score, 100. I can't even believe it. I woke up this morning. I felt so good. And then I have an app. It tracks my sleep because I got this watch. And like when I'm sleeping, my mattress does it too. And it tells you how good your deep sleep is and your REM sleep. Guys, listen to me. REM and deep sleep is when your body produces HGH and testosterone. So if you are not getting good sleep, it is affecting you everywhere else. I started drinking this every single night. My sleep score has gone up. My sleep has improved dramatically. I am feeling absolutely fantastic, better than I felt in a really long time. And I didn't even know it could get better. My sleep score was like 88, 90 before. And I'm like, it must be pretty good. Now it's like 98 to 100 almost every single night. Absolutely incredible. So again, go to shopbeam.com/TimPool. Get 35% off limited time. Shout out. We got one more great sponsor for you. It is AmericanFinancing.net/Tim. The Fed has finally dropped interest rates, and that's great news for American homeowners. Expenses have been a major burden on families. Wages are flat. Prices keep climbing. And for many, the only way to make ends meet is to lean on credit cards. But that cycle of high interest debt makes it hard to stay ahead. If you're a homeowner, I want you to call my friends at American Financing. Right now, interest rates have dropped. Many homeowners are seeing options in the low fives. Compare that to the credit cards charging rates in the 20s or higher. There is an easy path to see how you can finally put your hard-earned equity to work for you. American Financing can help you pay off that expensive debt, free up your cash flow, and keep your budget under control. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are saving customers an average of $800 a month. And if you get started today, You may even be able to delay your next mortgage payment. Take control. Call American Financing today at 866-890-7811. That's 866-890-7811. Or go to americanfinancing.net/Tim. Disclaimer. APR rates in the 5 start at 6.327 for well-qualified borrowers. Call them today. More details. Check it out. Thanks for sponsoring the show, everybody. But let's get to the news and talk about what's going on with Trump ordering the Attorney General to prosecute his political enemies. We can't delay any longer. So let's, what do we have here? This one's funny. Trump officials didn't know if his order to prosecute foes was meant to be secret. I love it. The president's social media post urging Pam Bondi to promptly charge his political foes blindsided top officials in the administration. Let's go here first. Let me see if I can refresh this and get it to load properly. I think I can. I don't know why it's not loading properly. Path to dictatorship. Democrats flame Trump over pressure on Bondi. Rolling Stone reports President Trump surprised members of his administration with his social media outburst Saturday night, demanding that Attorney General Pam Bondi quickly move ahead with efforts to prosecute his political enemies. In a Truth Social post directed to Pam, Trump complained that his Department of Justice has not yet prosecuted James Comey, Adam Schiff, Attorney General Letitia James. His demand to prosecute James came less than 24 hours after Trump forced out the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia for failing to charge James, who oversaw New York civil fraud case against the president's business empire. I think I have the post here. Here's what he said. Pam, I have reviewed over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially, quote, same old story as last time. All talk, no action. Nothing is being done. What about Comey? Adam Schiff, Letitia. They're all guilty as hell, but nothing is going to be done. Then we almost put in a Democrat-supported U.S. attorney in Virginia with a really bad Republican past. A woke rhino who was never going to do his job. That's why 2 of the worst Dem senators pushed him so hard. He even lied to the media and said he quit and that we had no case. No, I fired him, and there is a great case, and many lawyers and legal pundits say so. Lindsey Halligan is a really good lawyer and likes you a lot. We can't delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and credibility. They impeached me twice and indicted me 5 times over nothing. Justice must be served now. President DJT. Now, let's be real. Is Trump actually trying to DM her when he does that? No, of course not. Because he doesn't need to. He literally just call her on the phone or say, Pam, can you come to my office? They're all guilty as hell, he said. Many observers wonder whether Trump's initial post, which capped off a wildly authoritarian week, was meant to be a private directive to Bondi. Top officials in his administration had the same question. According to 3 sources familiar with the situation, several senior officials at the DOJ and also at the White House were blindsided by Trump's message on Saturday night. Some in the DOJ were left scratching their heads because the Truth Social post directed at Pam read so much like a text message or direct message from the president. Is the argument, perhaps, he was trying to text her that? I don't think so, to be honest. I don't think he's not going to text that way. This reads more like a fake text, but for a public message. Because Trump would literally just say, hey, Pam, I'm getting a bunch of messages from people saying, why aren't we doing anything? I'd like you to move forward on this. That's all he would say. Clearly, this was meant to be a public message sent to everybody and then make it look like it was a DM or make that question be asked. Now, apparently he deleted this message, which is why people are like, whoa. No, he wanted to guarantee that people talked about it. Yeah, he writes like that, one Trump advisor says. It's a lot like what the president writes online. Yeah, online. Some administration officials, the sources say, determined that even though it was likely this was another instance of the president accidentally posting a private message publicly, it was best to just carry on and act like it was a written demand that was always meant for public consumption. It was. After all, the demand for prosecutions wasn't exactly out of character. Sitting in the Oval Office before cameras earlier this year, Trump took the extraordinary authoritarian steps of signing executive orders instructing the DOJ to launch revenge-minded criminal investigations of Trump's hand-picked targets. Since regaining power, Trump has operated as though federal law enforcement is little more than a wholly owned subsidiary of his political project and personality cult. Really? And his Justice Department has operated this way too. You know, the thing about liberals is they're lying. They can't seem to remember all of the things they did against Donald Trump. They now act like they did nothing. They didn't censor people, arrest him, arrest his political supporters, arrest people for memes. They're saying this is the first time ever anyone would consider doing something like this. Well, they have to. If Democrats actually came out and acknowledged what they did over the past 10 years, everybody would be like, yeah, okay, they need to go to jail. So instead, they pretend like they never did anything. And this is the first time any bad thing has ever happened, ever. Axios, path to a dictatorship. Democrats flame Trump's public pressure on Bondi. The big picture. Trump's Saturday Post addressed the nation's top law enforcement official urging action against his political foes, an escalation of his retribution campaign, and the already mounting MAGA world pressure on Bondi after the Epstein files fallout. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer argued on CNN's State of the Union Sunday that Trump is turning the DOJ, quote, into an instrument that goes after his enemies, whether they are guilty or not, and that helps his friends. Schumer warned this is the path to a dictatorship. Senator Chris Murphy framed the current moment as one of the most dangerous the country has faced, saying on ABC's This Week, we are quickly turning into a banana republic. Alluding to late night host Jimmy Kimmel's suspension following an FCC warning over comments he made, I love the unrepentant evil that is these psychotic demons. I've had to say this now probably 800 times. I'm going to have to say it again later today. I'm going on Piers Morgan's show. Jimmy Kimmel was going to double down. The executives said that advertisers and affiliates were angry and asked him not to do it. Jimmy Kimmel was refusing to apologize and wanted to further blame MAGA. When he refused to back down, they pulled his show. The FCC comments played somewhat of a role, but not really. And then they say following an FCC threat, as if to imply the FCC made a phone call, threatened ABC, and Jimmy Kimmel got pulled. Never happened. Anyway, he said that Trump was employing the full power of the federal government, the FCC and the DOJ, to punish, lock up, or take down all of his political enemies. Murphy said, there are two things happening. One, you're going to be prosecuted for political speech in this country, but you're also going to be excused, pointing to the clemency Trump granted the January 6 rioters. Former Secretary of State and presidential candidate Hillary Clinton wrote on social media Sunday, imagine if Richard Nixon had just tweeted out the Watergate scandal rather than putting it on secret tapes. That's what this is. Really? Is it? I don't care. President Trump appreciates all Attorney General Bondi is doing to make America safe again, White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt said in a statement provided to Axios. Her statement continued, the president wants justice and accountability for the many corrupt criminals and politicians who weaponized our justice system against him and millions of his patriotic supporters. Correct. Trump's post, which read like a private message to Bondi, named former director, we get all that part. Between the lines, the post was seemingly motivated by animus towards Eric Siebert, the U.S. attorney in Virginia, who didn't pursue a case against James. Deprived of levers of federal power, Democrats urged their Republican colleagues to push back against Trump. We need our Republican colleagues more than ever to speak out against this violation of the fundamentals of democracy. Agreed. I will speak out against what Democrats did. Democrats locked up Trump, tried to put him in prison, but they arrested him. His supporters, they arrested a guy for posting memes. They got a bunch of comedians fired from their jobs. They created fake PSYOP smear campaigns to malign Trump as a traitor and his supporters as such as well. Oh boy, the list goes on. How about we point out the BLM riots when Kamala Harris solicited donations for the rioters to be released after they burned down a police station, shot people across the country, 30 plus dead. You want to talk about an existential threat? It was that, because that violated all the norms. And when we said, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that, they said, no, you're the bad guy. Now Trump is saying we need accountability, and the response is still, no, you're the bad guy. Well, you know what? I don't care what you think anymore. I don't care what Democrats think. They say Senator Rand Paul, a fiscal hawk, said on NBC's Meet the Press, lawfare in all forms is bad. You know what? I'm so over it, dude. He claimed charges brought against Trump were lawfare as well, but said it's also wrong if Republicans do it. This is the spineless cowardice. I'm a fan of Rand Paul. I am. He's the best senator we got. but I'm going to call them out when I think I should call them out. If you were being beaten over with a club, the idea that you just stand there and take it is the stupidest thing imaginable. Imagine someone's hitting you with a stick, and you go, now, I know they're hitting you with a stick, but to hit them with a stick would be just as wrong. It's like, okay, and then crack, your skull breaks open, you fall down, and you're dead. And then the next person walks up and says, I don't care about your ideas. The American view is gone. You were beaten to death, and it's over. No, when the Democrats are beating you over the head, you say, stop. I said, stop. I'm warning you for the last time. Stop. If you don't, I will use self-defense. And then when they swing, you grab the stick and you rip it from their hands. You throw it down and then say, and now you are under arrest. The funny thing is, that's all we're doing. That's all Trump is saying. And Rand Paul and these other libertarian types still come and say, no, don't arrest him. That would be wrong. Bro, he was just beating us over there with a club. What are we going to do? Just let him stand there and do it again? No. You arrest criminals. This is ridiculous. I ain't playing that game. Here's MSNBC. MS Now, we should call them. Why Trump's directive to AG Bondi should be seen as an impeachment-level scandal. Oh, impeachment level. I don't care. Okay? I don't care. Your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer. I don't care. Now, to be fair, the Daily Beast says Fox panel urges Trump to chill after bonkers threat against his enemies. The host of Big Weekend show said that Trump was giving Dems fodder by calling for trials of his detractors. Oh, really? Fodder, huh? Co-host Tommy Loren warned Democrats might be empowered by seeing cancel culture played on a high level. Empowered? Okay. All right. I'm listening. I'm listening. Guys, smash that like button. Share the show. But I'm listening. I'm scared. You're saying that if we take action against these Democrats, they might escalate things? They might make things worse when they gain power again? Wow. Well, I don't know why we would let them take power again, but sure. We might, I guess, because we have amnesia. But when they do take power, you mean it'll be worse than it was before? What are they going to do? Are they going to rip our souls from our corpses and purge them in the great eternal fires of damnation? I'm honest question. I mean, it's not like there's any prominent late night conservative TV hosts or professors or journalists. It's not like they've not already killed people and locked them in jail and arrested them for memes. I'm genuinely curious, Fox, where you think it goes worse than it already is. Trump is the president and Charlie Kirk was just murdered. Okay? So even when Trump is in office, Democrats still be doing bad things. So genuine question. Should the Democrats take power again? I'm curious where you think this goes. It's going to be worse? Okay, so after they kill us, they're going to pull our souls back from heaven? It's funny because I said that and I had Christians saying, Tim, you aren't going to heaven. And I'm like, okay, whatever. You get the point I'm making. They're going to use a Ouija board and summon our souls back from the afterlife after we're dead and torture our eternal souls. I got to be honest, when they're advocating for death, my death, other conservative commentators, Charlie Kirk already died, and there's already been threats of violence. Benny Johnson posted a video where his house was set on fire. What more do you expect to happen, I guess? And this is where we're going. So here we go. Rolling Stone posted this. Donald Trump and his administration used Charlie Kirk's murder as an excuse to ramp up their ongoing campaign for total power in their most authoritarian week yet. Really? Really? I call this evil. This is what evil looks like. Donald Trump said the people who encouraged and engaged in these violent acts must be held accountable. That's really it. You commit crimes, you go to jail. The Republicans said it's time to stop letting the far left murder people. And Rolling Stone is saying it's authoritarian. Okay. You're right, Fox. We should sit back, put our feet up, and just say, well, I guess people are going to die on the right. Because again, there's no late night conservative talk show hosts. Greg Gutfeld, but he's on cable, so fine, I'll give him that. But who else? How many professors? Oh yeah, none. Prominent journalists? Not really. To be fair, Matt Taibbi, I wouldn't call him conservative, but he's certainly being honest. Winston Marshall posted this. Despite all the evidence, only 10% of Democrats believe Kirk's murderer had left-wing beliefs. They have been radicalized and brainwashed by the mainstream media and social media. America's divide is not simply by worldview, but by reality itself. YouGov. Most Americans see left-wing beliefs behind Charlie Kirk's shooting, then see right-wing beliefs. Okay. Well, that's true. Because that's reality. Here's what they said. Do you think that the person who killed Charlie was mostly motivated by left-wing beliefs, something other than political beliefs, not sure, and right-wing beliefs? Among all U.S. adults, only 37% think he was a leftist, despite, 4 press conferences and all the evidence suggesting he was? 16 say it was something else, 30 are not sure, and 17 right-wing beliefs. Well, that's crazy. 17% think the guy was right-wing? There's literally no evidence suggesting that. None whatsoever. By party ID. 10% of Democrats think he had left-wing beliefs. I bet they're all 70 years old. Actually, to be fair, probably not. Probably younger. 20% said something else. 37 aren't sure. And 33% of Democrats think the guy was a right-winger. That's because Jimmy Kimmel's a liar. John Oliver is a liar. Politics Girl is a liar. It's because the liberals are all lying. Now, by all means, if someone said something other than political beliefs, okay, I'd say you're arguing politics here, but at least that has some ground. Montel Williams said it was because he was in love. And Charlie Kirk said something bad about his love. Oh, shut up. To be fair, it's fine to say it was something other than political beliefs. It is. I think it's wrong. The dude was clearly left aligned. But at least you're making an argument. There's literally no argument for right wing. None. Independents, 2-1. Think he had left-wing beliefs. And Republicans correctly say 68%. Although I do find it absolutely fascinating. You got a couple percentage points, 3 or so, I think, that on the right, I think is a right-winger. You're wrong. But to Aaron McIntyre, he said, you are grieving the loss of Charlie Kirk. Your neighbor is not. In fact, they think people like you killed him. This is a difference so fundamental that no argument of evidence will change it. And you need to understand the implications of that fact. Yeah. Well, some stuff's happening. Recalled Oakland Mayor Shang Tao indicted by the U.S. Attorney's Office. That's federal. Wow. Trump's DOJ indicted a Democrat congresswoman. The case could fall apart. I mean, she's on video punching a cop. But sure, it could fall apart. Because of the country that we live in and the judges that we have, it's entirely possible that yes, indeed. And this is where we currently are. Man, I don't know. I don't know what happens to this country. I don't know where we go from here. Indictments are happening. Moves are being made. Trump and Musk reunite at Charlie Kirk Memorial Service. To this I say, well, all right. Unity on the right. Moves being made. Something must be done. Should we sit back and say, slow down there, Democrats, this time? No. I'm not playing that game. I am not going to sit back facing these death threats and have to live like this. I got a couple options. Let me know what you think in the comments. I can quit. Retire. Because I got to be honest, the stay in the political space advocating to challenge Democrats, but then agree Democrats can run roughshod, no, that's not an option. Because I'd basically just be saying, I will never do anything to defeat the Democrats, just complain about it, and then they will come and arrest me when they win office next year. Yeah, no, I'm not interested. Well, they're not going to take the presidency. So my options are shut her down and disappear and just live on a ranch and zip. I don't want to do that either. In which case, there is only one option for anybody in the political space who is not left aligned. And that is advocate for the entire legal use of government power to stop the criminals and the crooks that broke the law, that have damaged and broken our system. Because if you don't, you will get a civil war. Right now, Donald Trump has an option. He can say, we're going to shut down the NGOs. We're going to arrest the crooks and the criminals. And he should. If Donald Trump says, the NGOs that are funding the far left, that are firebombing buildings, we're going to let them do whatever they want. They will lie, cheat, and steal. They will kill again. And I don't want it to be me or you. Honestly, I don't want it to be me. I mean, first and foremost, like I am me, right? But I don't want to see anybody else get hurt. If Trump uses the power that he has to shut down the far left now, to arrest the corrupt politicians, we may escape this yet. And Trump has the lawful authority. We elected him. He's saying to Pam, investigate these people. Do not let them just get away with the crimes they committed. Why would you do that for anybody? And maybe when the DOJ publishes the evidence and it becomes apparent to everyone exactly what Democrats were doing, then we can say, oh, wow, Trump was right the whole time. And I think then liberals are going to whip into shape. Now, what I can say is, it is sad, but the death of Charlie Kirk has shocked a lot of people into waking up. It's as though many people were thrown into Arctic waters, and it was a shock to their system. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I'm seeing prominent personalities, apolitical ones, that were default lib, now praising Charlie Kirk. I kid you not, I'm getting text messages from people I know who are like default lib celebrity types, high-profile individuals who are saying, right on, man, right on, brother, about Charlie Kirk and all these things. They agree. And I'm sitting here wondering, like, wow, Charlie was doing such great work, and he was doing it very quickly. And so this lunatic took his life, and it is horrifying. We don't want to live that way. We want to live in a world where the work is hard and takes a long time. And Charlie built it up, and maybe in 10 years, we'd see much, much greater things. What I will say is this. When that man, the alleged assassin, took Charlie Kirk's life, he took away from all of us something very, very important that was going to contribute another 50 years of important political work. We will never get that back. But there may be an exponential return that they didn't calculate. Charlie Kirk's death ramped up awareness of the problem we face to such a degree, it may have saved this country. It's sad to say. I didn't want it to be this way. It's better that Charlie just speak his mind and win the hearts and minds of the people to save this country. They tried to stop him because they knew that he was too powerful. And in doing so, it shocked so many people that they've woken up. Now, even with Charlie Kirk's work with TPUSA, we may have been headed, circling that drain, whatever. I actually think for the first time in a long time, there is some hope. Because now regular people understand the threat we face. The people celebrating his death. That is not normal. Nobody wants to live that way. Trump getting his appointees confirmed. Elon Musk and Trump joining back together. Unifying the individuals who are feuding on the right. We may now actually make a difference. Or I should at the very least say, it's happening much faster than we could ever could have thought possible for the worst reasons imaginable. But we have to accept that we will not give up. Erica Kirk is going to lead the charge. TPUSA had its biggest rally in its history for the worst reasons. But many, many new people are coming to understand what this country is going through. So, my friends, smash that like button. Share the show with everyone you know. Subscribe to this channel. I got a new channel. It is at Tim Pool. You can find that on Rumble as well as YouTube. Subscribe. Don't miss it. We got an interview with Aaron McIntyre coming up. This one's going to be interesting because he and I agree largely on what we are facing. So don't miss it. That'll be at 4 p.m. on the Culture War channel at Rumble, as well as youtube.com/Timcast. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.